prepayment penalty.
It can be whatever you want. It's all I can adjust it based on whatever somebody wants. The lower the prepayment penalty, the higher the upfront fees are going to be. But we can adjust it down to as low as 6 months if you really want to be out of something. And what a lot of people do is they'll get a flip loan, a fix and flip or hard money of some sort. They'll buy a house and they'll repair it. They'll buy it for $100,000. They'll put 50 in it, and now it's worth 210. Well, I can refinance that house basically as soon as it's finished and has a tenant in it. Give them that 150 back, and they can pay off the hard money loan and the initial purchase price, and have another room of dollars in it.
And I did that loan with you, and so that was a really cool idea. I ended up selling the property, so I got it. Darn it, I shouldn't have sold the property, but it was a phenomenal deal. You did the loan; it was seamless, and we just kind of did our thing.
Well, and if you execute it right, you're going to do it again and again and again, because effectively you're acquiring property with almost no capital involved, right? And you're acquiring property that the lender requires to cash flow. So if it's going to cash flow enough for a lender and you're not putting any money into it, your acquisition cost is very literally zero, and you have an asset that is going to pay down its own debt, provide some tax sheltering for you. It's going to appreciate in value, potentially provide some cash flow, and if you did it right, you'll have some equity capture on the front end that you didn't pay for. I mean, again, I'm not saying there's not better ideas. There's not one that I can repeat this frequently, this easily.
With little or no money out of pocket, sometimes once you're done with the process, so
Right.
yeah, you can do it.
It doesn't happen all the time. I had a lender get a home run one, and he took about 6 months to get it done. He flipped it so well though. I was able to get him $15,000 more than when he started with on the property, and he now owns a property that somebody else is paying for. I mean, again, it's not every scenario, but that does happen.
Walk us through the process of, because you work with every matter of buyer.
Yeah.
We're talking about first time, a second time investor.
Yeah.
Walk us through a first time investor, because that's what we want here at the tribe, is to bring people into the experience of owning property that can actually cash flow and build wealth for you and your family.
Yeah.
So walk us through it, so they can know what to expect when they call you, when they're like, okay, so there's just not, you got some big hairy monster that's like here to judge them for whatever. So they're in their lives. But you're walk me through what that process looks like.
So the first question I ask everybody is, what's your goal? Like, what are you here trying to accomplish, and why are you doing it? If I can get to the why, which is usually the meat and the potatoes, what's really going on is the why, not the what. Then I can kind of learn how I can drive this car, because every person moves differently, and finances are very psychological. I tend to gauge my advice based on how I think the person's going to receive it best and their goals, right? Well, once we go through that, I'm going to start asking them some basic questions about what I call the 3 C's of mortgages: their credit, their collateral, and their capacity, right? What's your credit situation currently like? What's going on with it? What's your score? Are you delinquent on things? How are your mortgages looking? Just generally, let me down on your credit, right? Then we're going to talk about the collateral. What type of collateral is this person trying to work with? Are they trying to do fix and flips? Are they trying to buy a turnkey? If so, what are the standards for that type of collateral, right? If it's a fix and flip, do they need 10% down of the purchase price and we'll fund the OLE out for them? Maybe. That could probably work out. Or is it buying turnkey and they need at least 15% down because of the property? That's also possible. So we'll kind of run through the collateral and the required options. And then last is we're going to talk about capacity. And capacity is how they're going to basically pay this bill and their other bills and keep on them, right? For debt service loans, we look at it based on the rent versus the expected cash flow. It's really simple. We don't look at their personal income. That's one of the huge benefits of doing a DSCR. Is I'm not going to look at your tax returns, your W-2, your pay stubs. I'm just going to say, is the rent's $1,000? Okay, as long as the payment's $9.99 or less, you're approved. Congrats. Have fun. If it's a more conventional loan style that they're looking for, then we are going to grab some tax returns and some income and look at their income and see how much money they're making versus how much they're going to spend after they own the house. once we kind of establish those three things, I'll kind of say, hey guys, here are your options, right? What makes most sense for you based on what I've told you so far, and kind of let them lead themselves based on what's available. I don't ever want to tell somebody what to do, but I really want to paint a very clear picture of if you go left, it looks like this. If you go right, it looks like this. I personally don't care. I get paid the same no matter what loan you pick. But if your goal is long-term holds, please turn right.
You know what I mean? I definitely.